All right, today we are digging in, literally, to the masterpiece that is Louis Sachar's Holes. We're going to figure out how this incredible, layered structure comes together to tell one just perfect story.
So let's just get right into it, because when you think about it, the basic premise of this book sounds, well, kind of boring, right? A kid, a shovel, and a whole lot of dirt every single day. I mean, how do you make that a page-turner?
Well, this is the reality. A hole 5 feet deep and 5 feet across. That is the grueling day-in, day-out job for our hero at Camp Green Lake. And this isn't some summer camp, right? It's a juvenile detention center plopped in the middle of a scorching Texas desert.
And this is where we meet our guy, Stanley Yelnats IV, a good kid who's just cursed with generations of terrible luck. He gets wrongfully convicted and, yep, sent to this place. His punishment? Dig one of those holes every single day. The warden claims it builds character, but you just know there's got to be something more going on here.
And you know what's so cool about this? The author himself, Louis Sachar, was totally aware of this problem. He even said he realized a story just about a boy digging holes over and over would be, well, monotonous. And that challenge, that problem, is what forced him to create the book's absolute greatest strength. These secret histories, buried just under the sand.
So, yeah, how do you solve that monotony problem? Simple. You don't tell one story, you tell 3. The whole book is really built on these 3 secret histories, and they're what give every single shovelful of dirt its real meaning.
Okay, so you've got Stanley's story, right? His miserable life in the late 90s. But then, boom, we're jumping back 100 years to the Wild West to this tragic story that explains why the heck a place called Green Lake is a dried-up desert. And then we go even further back to this old-world folktale from Latvia, which is where the whole Yelnats family curse began. So you're thinking, okay, 3 totally separate stories, but are they really?
This, right here, is where the book's genius really kicks in. Because Sachar doesn't just cut between these stories. No, he weaves them together so perfectly, it's like a tapestry.
I mean, think about it. The structure is pure genius. Stanley is literally digging into the past. His work isn't just punishment, it's archaeology. He finds something, say an old golden lipstick tube with the initials KB, and bam, the story flashes back, and we, the readers, get to dig up the story behind it. We're suddenly right there with the famous outlaw, Kissin Kate Barlow.
And it's not just random objects either, it's everything. Family names, a lullaby that gets passed down through generations, this one specific mountain that looks like a thumb, they all act as these threads stitching the whole thing together. You start to see how the same families keep bumping into each other century after century. It's all connected.
This chart just lays it all out so clearly. Just look at this. You can trace the lines. The Yelnats, the Zeronis, the Walkers, they're all tangled up in this huge multi-generational web of cause and effect. So Elia Yelnats breaks a promise to Madame Zeroni in the old country, and what happens 100 years later? His great-great-grandson Stanley ends up carrying her great-great-great-grandson up a mountain. And the Walkers, their greed in the 1880s is the exact same greed that drives the warden today. It's not 3 stories, it's one long story.
So all these threads, all this history, all this talk of curses and destiny, it all comes to a head. It spectacularly converges in one place, that desolate mountain shaped like a thumb, God's thumb.
And for most of the book, you might think this is a story about inescapable fate, right? A curse you just can't shake. But then, it all comes down to a single choice. See, Stanley's ancestor, Elia, failed to carry Madame Zeroni up a mountain to fulfill a promise. Now, in a moment of pure friendship, Stanley carries her descendant, Zero, up that very same mountain. And the craziest part? He has no clue he's doing it. He's just saving his friend. But in that one act, he's fulfilling the promise and breaking the curse for good.
So in the end, yeah, maybe destiny or fate or whatever you want to call it brought Stanley and Zero to that camp. But it was their friendship, their loyalty, their choices that decided what happened next. And that's such a powerful idea, right? We're not just stuck with our history. We actually have the power to fix it, to redeem it, through what we choose to do.
Okay, so we've seen the structure, the curse has been broken, so what does it all really mean? This is where we get to the heart of it all, the big payoff. And believe me, it's about way more than just finding some lost treasure.
The whole book is basically a huge critique of the idea of punishment just for the sake of punishment. Instead, it offers up this different idea, restorative justice. The point isn't to get revenge or make someone suffer. It's about repairing the damage. It's about making things right.
Just think about the contrast. At Camp Green Lake, you have this pointless, cruel digging that helps nobody. But how does the story end? With restoration. The stolen fortune is returned to the Yelnats family. The promise to the Zeroni family is fulfilled. Everything that was broken is made whole again. It's not about punishing the warden. It's about healing the wounds that her family created generations ago.
And the symbol for all of this, it's just perfect. Rain. For the first time in over 100 years, rain finally falls on Green Lake. It literally washes away the curse, a curse that started with a terrible act of injustice. It's a fresh start, a new beginning, not just for the people, but for the land itself.
So, when you get right down to it, Holes leaves us with this incredible idea. History isn't just some dusty old story in a book. It's alive. It's the ground we walk on. And maybe the most important thing is that our choices, the things we do right now, have the power to dig up that past, fulfill an old promise, find the treasure, and maybe, just maybe, finally make it rain again. It really makes you think, doesn't it?